What's up YouTube, Cap over here and welcome to the Cap side. Today I'm going to bring you a little relaxing 6v6 battle with subscriber and fellow redditor Pokeymanz, and he wanted to do an MUK battle. So if you haven't already, subscribe as you could possibly be featured on this channel, or just follow us on Twitter, send us a message, say yo man let's scrap, and I'll be down to scrap for sure. And if you use scrap in terms, I will bring that up. Anywho, let's just get right to it, as I figured he'd go into his Mesprit, as Mesprits are often really great Pokemon to lead off with, so I was like, you know what can deal with Mesprit? What can deal with him? And I just sent out Koki. That's right. Koki is looking all and mighty powerful, as my prediction does come on true, and this thing's Choice Scarfed. It's gonna go for a knockoff, it's gonna do a decent amount of damage, and I was guessing most likely he wouldn't stay in, or he would stay in and not go for an attack, so I was like, you know what, knockoff is my really awesome option, and I'm just gonna take this thing down. I'm looking pretty solid right at the moment. Koki is still pretty healthy and still going, swinging his claws all around, as Wireless will come on through the Virizion, and this thing scares me because I don't really know what Virizions do. They're scary mons to deal with, and so I figured I'd go into Yuck-Luck. Yuck-Luck is always the perfect mon to switch upon these beastly things. And Leaf Blade's gonna come my way, so I do know this thing is a physical attacking mon, but I know Yuck-Luck can take whatever this thing wants to deal with and just eat it up, you know? Just eat it all up. As Lights will come on through, and I decided to go for a Poison Jab because it was a good option to go for. I could get the poison, and if you want to stay in, I could possibly take out the Virizion, but Lights easily eats that up, and I don't even get the poison on that, so that's a bit unfortunate on my part, as he's just going to go for a Thunder Wave, which will dent my chances of winning, because a slow Yuck-Luck that could possibly get Para is not a happy Yuck-Luck. Try to say Yuck-Luck 5 times in a row. It's pretty tough. It's pretty tough. So we're just both going to heal over here. We're both looking pretty healthy. I'm paralyzed, but you know what? I'm still able to do stuff. I can sort of just sludge around. Yuck-Luck is a pretty slow mon as it is, but what can you do? What can you do? As he's just going to go for a Volt switch on out of here. I'm guessing he might have wanted me to switch into someone else or just get that additional damage off of Yuck-Luck, as I just figured I'd go for some move that I don't even know because I got paralyzed, but that's Pokemon for you. I actually think I did went for the Poison Jab, but paralyzed is a thing, and lately I've been having a little bad luck on that department, as I'm going to send out my Floette, Miss Bella. As Miss Bella's looking pretty happy here. This is just floating all around. This is my defensive wall. I am fond of my very defensive walls, or special defensive walls, as he's just going to go for an Ancient Power, do some decent damage, as this is a Mega Karma which has Uncanny Power. So I figured I'd just go for a Wish over here, and I didn't even count how strong Fire Blast would be. I was like, oh, my guy's pretty defensive, but he doesn't eat that up at all, as I figured I'd just go for a Toxic, because he could potentially miss the Fire Blast, or he could just hit me and take me out. And Miss Bella, this was my first time using her. She did alright, but didn't do what I wanted to do. So unfortunately for me, I have to send out who's always napping on the field. I'm like, you know what, you gotta do some stuff. As my best move over here was to just set up my light screen. I need that light screen up to eat up whatever this thing was gonna do, but this is sleeping, but managed to dodge some things when, you know, maybe he just sort of went over once and, you know, did something like that. As Floating will come on through, and this thing is pretty cool. I love Floating's shiny form, as it's just so awesome, like that blue yellow. I'm a fan. Sort of matching my mon, but whatevs. And I'm gonna send out Styles That Fly because I do have Night Slash, and Night Slash has a high crit ratio, plus I can go for, again, I do have big pecs, so I was like, this guy can do some damage. He can do some damage. And I was hoping he'd stay in here, but he actually withdraws. Apparently this guy knows what Pheasants do, because they're such a common thing. And I was like, well, this is not a bad situation. Maybe I can get a crit or something. But I saw that damage and I was like, oh, that's not very good damage. So I'm forced to withdraw because Lights is really becoming the problem for me. I'm not fond of this Lights, and I'm guessing it's not fond of me either because he is against me. Lights is scary. As Lights will just go once again for the Volt Switch. Nice safe play and the right play because he can get switched initiative or just simply take me down. And Achu will come on through, and initially I didn't know what Achu wanted to do, so I decided to go for Protect, see what it's capable of doing, and it's actually just gonna go for a knockoff. So I was like, well, Yuck needs his health regeneration, so I'm gonna let something else take that because I don't want to lose that. So I figured Mr. T would be the best thing to go into. I also figured he's locked into knockoff, as why would you put an Eviolite on a Sneasel? Doesn't make sense. And he's forced to withdraw, so that does tell me he is choiced in some way. I'm not sure what it is yet, but we'll see. And he makes a really good play here going into floating, as I just want to go for a rapid spin, get those rocks off, but he actually does make a double switch over here, and I decide to make my switch. So he's really playing this game well. Really good. So he's outplaying me, he's making the dips and dangles, and I'm just sort of stumbling around like a drunk fool that I am and not making any plays whatsoever. He's one-upping me, as I'm just gonna go for a light screen once again. This thing can do whatever it wants to do, as it's just gonna Thunder Wave me. But fortunately for me, I do have the heal bell on this fella, just because I don't want my team to suffer from that, from those statuses. I'm not fond of them. I get too many statuses on my team, and I always carry some kind of heal bell Pokemon, as it's not good at all. And once again, Rylus will make an appearance, and I'm okay with this because, well, I guess I'm not okay with it at all. I don't know what this thing wants to do, and I figured Mr. T would be the best switch, as Maya could take something this thing wanted to do, as he's just gonna go for an X Scissors, and it does no damage. So I want to see if this thing was actually choiced in any way, but it's not, and will take me down, not take me down to close combat. And I think seeing this battle once again, maybe I should have gone for a Flame Burst or something, but what can you do? I didn't figure I'd live the close combat, and I was at -1, so I don't think the stealth rocks were that important in this battle for me. So bad play on my part. I figured I'd go into Yuck Luck. I could get a curse up, as you know, he's going to switch obviously because he's at -2. He does need that Virizion, and Lights does wall my Pokemon pretty good, as I decided to just go for a curse. The switch was obvious, and I just wanted to get my boot stats up, as if I did set up with this thing, I could potentially sweep his team, and life would be so green on my side. The grass is so green, but as we know, Lights has other plans for me. She's not gonna let me have any of that, as Scald will come my way and I will get burned. So I do believe I'm at neutral now, which is unfortunate because I did set up my curses, and Yuck Luck has every reason to curse because he got burned from Lights. So Lights is becoming quite the pivotal Pokemon for him, and this situation is going to wear down to me just taking myself out, and I decided I'd stay in because Yuck Luck isn't doing any work right now. He's just slodging all around and not looking healthy, as Camera will come on through, and Camera's looking pretty scary, as I'm going to be forced to just go for a poison jab, see how much damage I can get off on this thing, but it's not enough damage for me to be really happy with, and ultimately it's not something that I'm just happy with at all, because it's no damage. Camera's just, it hits so hard and takes hits so good, and my light screen will wear off, so I decided to go into Yuxi, as if he did go for an earth power, I'm levitate, so none of that would have happened. As he just goes for a fire blast, predicting the Yuxi to come on through, and Yuxi will not eat that up, not at all, not at all, as he does get the crit, and Yuxi will go on down. Sorry, you gotta take a nap. You did some work, but it wasn't good enough. And my reflect will also wear down, as Styles That Flies will make another appearance, and I decide to ultimately go for a return over here, as it is my strongest stab move, and hopefully I could take some things down. So I see the lantern appear, it will get some rock damage, and I'm gonna go for a return over here, as I'm hoping it does a decent amount of damage, and it does a lot of damage. So at this point I'm like, alright, if I had known that earlier on, just to go for a return, I would have been in an awesome opportunity a long time ago. So my bad on that. I should have maybe scout that out a bit, but what can you do? What can you do? As Echu will make another appearance, and I'm like, you know what, Styles That Fly, I need you. I need you to become the Mon that you are. As Ice Shard was way too obvious, and he doesn't know I'm any sorts of scarfed or anything, as I've just been using one move the whole time, so I am not scarfed. I am not scarfed. I was Power Herb, because I do have Sky Attack on my Pheasant, as he's just gonna go for the double Ice Shard, take me down. Sorry, Yuckluck, Yuckluck hasn't been putting any work for me. Unfortunately, I haven't put him in the right situation to really benefit me. So I decided to go into Koki, and Koki could easily take down this Achu, as Achu has no defense, and X Scissors is super effective. So I decided to lock myself into X Scissors, as it was the best move to potentially take out everything. And I just go for another X Scissors, as I'm hoping that he doesn't take me out, as I learned this thing has Will-O-Wisp, and I'm like, well, snap, Camerups carry Will-O-Wisp now? So that really surprised me, just because I've never seen a Camerup have Will-O-Wisp before. It was just so, it was such a good play to really hide that from me, and I don't know if that made any difference regardless of this battle, but that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that, having the Will-O-Wisp on the Camerupt. So Wireless will make another appearance and take some rock damage. So I'm hoping that the X Scissors does a decent amount, but as we know it, it does absolutely nothing. Garbage damage, and he's just going to take me down to, actually I do live on 7 with close combat, because Kingler does have some natural bulk, but I will go down to burn. So that's a bit unfortunate, as my choice scarf is down. Kingler you did some work. You did some work. You can take a break. And I was hoping over here I could outspeed this Virizion and go for a Sky Attack. I was like, you know what, man? I don't know if I've won this battle or not, but I've got to go for the Sky Attack. But he's just going to take me down thanks to close combat. And Styles That Flies will have failed me. And I think he does get the win over here. So really good battle, Pokeymanz. And in regards of Virizion, Virizion is RU, but there is a logical explanation to why Virizion was brought, and that's because Virizion at the start of February, I believe, was RU, and he was sent back to NU, and then at the start of March, Virizion once again was sent from NU back into RU, and Pokeymanz thought he was still NU. So that's an easy human error. I do make it from time to times, and I think everyone has done that, as Smogon does change its tiers quite that often. And in regardless of Virizion being RU, he simply played much better than me, so that was no advantage to him. We did play on level playing fields, but he just played a lot better than me. So kudos to you, Pokeymanz, for really you just outplayed me there. And if you enjoyed this battle, subscribe, like, comment, do whatever you want, as you know, you're your own person. I'm not the boss of you. And today is Saturday, so enjoy the Saturday. It's been quite the eventful week, as we did introduce a new series on the channel. The RBL is starting, and I'm getting better from my sickness. So all in all, expect more videos, more commentary, and me being more active on either Twitter this channel or Reddit, and be sure to always look out for me. So I'm gonna end it over here. Enjoy your Saturday, and this is Cap signing off.
Ooh, rock damage and sludge bomb. These are teasing dead.
Not the proudest moment.
Goodbye.
Just live that. I'm gonna live that. Just fine.